I wanted to make a very quick video. I don't even know if it'll make sense, but basically, yesterday my dad called me and he asked me if I had space in my garage. And my parents live 5.5 hours away, so anytime they need to store something, they store it at my house because out of my sisters, I'm the only one with like, I have space. And they've stored everything in my garage. I don't even have the words. There was one time I opened the garage and there was like a 6-foot Santa Claus figure and he put it in there and didn't tell me. It was traumatizing. But anyways, besides the point. So my dad called me and he asked me if I had space in my garage because he bought one of those ride-on lawnmowers for their property. And the next time he comes down to visit, he wants to pick it up. Mind you, I just cleaned my garage. It was absolutely spotless. And the way my mind works, because it's always working in weird ways, of course I have no issue with my dad storing a freaking lawnmower in my garage, but it made me think in the metaphorical sense how sometimes, and I do this often, I feel like I say yes to a lot of things. Oh, there goes my phone. I say yes to a lot of things, especially when it comes to family and especially when it comes to friends. And it made me think how sometimes mentally and emotionally I have worked so hard in my life to clear space from my mind, like to clear out trauma, to clear out stress, to clear out anything that can feel like a heavy emotion. I have worked so hard, especially for the last 3 years, to remove, release, and let go of things that don't need to occupy space in my mind, in my body, and in my spirit. So this is a random rant, okay? I just finished my walk. But anyways, it made me think how often we say yes to taking on other people's trauma, stress, daily dramas, relationship issues, just because we don't know how to say, I don't have capacity for it. I don't have space for it. I hold space for you. I will validate your emotions, but I cannot hold the weight of anything more than what I'm currently working through. Or just like, sometimes you just don't want to take anything at all because you've cleared the space. Why would you want to take on more? When you have put yourself in a position where you have a blank slate, why would you want to take on somebody else's, I don't want to say problems, but why do you want to take on the weight of everybody else's situations? And it's different in a sense where you're wanting to help and you're wanting to nurture and walk through things. But in a lot of situations, people hoard their emotions. People hoard their trauma. People like to maintain a victim mindset and come to you for that extra validation just so that they don't feel wrong for holding on to their anger, holding on to their resentment, holding on to what their ex did to them however long ago. They just want to trauma dump just so that they feel like they're doing the right thing by holding on. I like to encourage my friends, family, and everybody else to let go, just to release. And I make it clear, like, I'm not gonna hold on to it for you. You can't keep that victim mindset for yourself or for anyone else because you will get weighed down by it and crushed. And at the end of the day, it is your choice. So think of it this way. I'll put it together with a nice visual because I'm always visualizing things. If you bought a brand new apartment, got the keys, penthouse, beautiful, completely empty, would you allow one of your friends who is known as a hoarder, that loves to collect and collect and collect things that serve ultimately no purpose in their lives aside from taking up space, would you let them store all their stuff in your brand new house that you worked so hard, blood, sweat, tears, stress, meditation, self-help books galore? I'm in such a loud area. But would you allow somebody to just have your spare key and have at it? Like, just store your stuff wherever. I know you have no intention of ever getting rid of it. I know you have no intention of ever, you know, compacting, donating, relieving yourself of these things. Just, yeah, it's totally fine. I know I wouldn't do that. And when it comes to this lawnmower, if I didn't know my dad wasn't coming down in a few weeks, I would probably say no anyways, because why do you need a lawnmower? You have a lawnmower. But you need to be mindful of those things. Ask yourself those questions and be aware of when you are saying yes to things that are just going to take up space, up stop here and anywhere else, even if it is like the actual physical furniture or whatever else. Just be mindful of that. You've worked really hard, you've come this far, so don't anchor yourself. Still show love, still show grace, still be a good person, still be a good friend, but don't hold on to anything. Don't hoard feelings, whether they're yours or anyone else's. Don't do it. Whether they're good or objectively bad, don't do it. Make sure you process things and release them. Send them off with love and keep your space nice and cute and let it reflect who you are to your core. I like when people walk into my house, because when you walk into my house, you know it's my house. Just down to the artwork that I have up, the photos I have of my son, everything. Like, it's very me. And that's how I want to be known, and that's how I want to be remembered. I don't want somebody to walk into my space and see it cluttered and disorganized and a mess. Sometimes I have those days where I'm like messy and chaotic, but to my core, that's not who I am. So I try to keep my space in a way that reflects that, because yeah, somebody might catch a glimpse of your life for a moment and they will view that as your overall, especially when it's a first impression. So keep that in mind when you're going around day to day and you're starting your day with a nice tea or coffee and choosing to pick up the phone and listen to your friend rant about things that don't even matter to them or to you. Their nagging boss, this, that, whatever. Unless you're going to be giving them actual advice and guidance and not just sitting there being like, yeah, no, they suck, she's a this, she's a that, he's a this, he's a that. Use your discernment. It is super important to take inventory of what you are holding on to and things that you are storing in your mind, because in a lot of ways it does carry into our body. I definitely recommend reading The Body Keeps Score. That's a good book that will kind of break down how in a lot of ways we do carry our trauma with us. We carry a lot of the negative experiences that we have, whether we're aware of it or not. I highly, highly, highly recommend taking inventory of the things that you are holding on to. If you're still upset about a failed relationship or something that has gone on or a comment that somebody made to you, process it. Figure out what it's triggering inside of you and just send it off with peace and love. Like, it's so easy. For myself, a random example, I've been wronged a lot. Like, not just necessarily in a relationship sense, but like, I've been ghosted, I've been cheated on, I've been abused, I've been hurt a lot in my life. But one thing about me is I don't hold on to it. I don't take any of it personally. That is my key to moving on, moving forward, and releasing things. I don't take it personally. I don't. Even like, small example, me being cheated on, that happened like years ago. But when it happened, from that moment, I never cried. I never was upset, because the way that I viewed it was the person that I was with didn't have enough integrity, didn't have enough self-discipline, didn't have enough self-control, and unfortunately that led to them losing somebody amazing for a few momentary seconds of relief. I honestly felt bad for him, because one thing for me that I love is how much integrity I have, how much self-discipline I have, how much love I have, especially when it's unconditional. And that gave me the opportunity to pour back into myself and give it all back to myself, because all it took was that quick realization, like, oh, maybe he's not ready for that. That sucks. Best of luck. And that was honestly it. Like, I don't know, I was never really bothered. When people take things personally, they often compare and criticize and judge, and those are all things that I try not to do. So yeah, in that situation specifically, it was good. Even in situations where I've lost certain friends or things have fallen apart, I don't ever take it personal. Like, it's one thing to take accountability, but it's another thing to take things personally. And if somebody's intentions are to actually harm you or hurt you, you don't need to take it personally, because that is quite literally a reflection of whatever self-hatred, hurt, frustration, and poor communication skills, as well as emotional intelligence, that they carry. So You can either take it upon yourself to try to convince them that you're worthy of whatever, or you can remind yourself that you already are and that they're not the judge of that, and just like keep moving, release, remove, move forward. And that's how I like to do things. I don't know. That's the advice I like to give my friends as well. Like, yeah, you need a moment to grieve and get over certain situations, and not everybody just like shakes off being cheated on or whatever. But I don't know, I've had some really good role models in my life, and I've learned from my experiences as well as observing others. I do that too much. From when I was younger, I've always been very observant, and I found ways to learn lessons through the stories of others. I went through a huge phase where I loved to read biographies and like autobiographies. That was where I learned a lot of life skills and how people have processed things. And yeah, I don't know. I try not to hold on to things. I try not to take things personal, and I also don't like to hold things against people. I take accountability when I contribute to something that doesn't end up in a positive way, and that's it. You make peace with the situation. I heard a quote just recently that said, peace is just the absence of fear and the presence of love. And I love that, because that's what I try to keep in my life. Is I try not to hold on to fear. I try not to hold on to negativity and resentment and frustrations. Like, feelings are like clouds. Let them pass, don't hold on to them. Don't store them in boxes in your house and take up space and get all sentimental and emotional about things that were meant to be released a long time ago. You have to just like let things pass. But yeah, I'm very grateful that I've had, especially early in my life, I experienced a lot of the negative. I feel like it's been like always, but I've had a lot of opportunities to learn. I've had a lot of opportunities to take accountability, and I've had a lot of opportunities where I've been able to forgive others and keep them in my life, or remove them peacefully with love, because I love myself more and I like to keep my space peaceful. No fear, just love. No anger, just love. So yeah, I don't know. When you're taking on somebody else's anger and hatred and all these negative feelings that they have boxed up and they don't have anywhere to put it, let them know they don't even need to hold on to it themselves. You don't need to like have them be burdened either. Like, get rid of it. Get rid of it. Nobody needs to hold on to those things. We're only here for so long. But yeah, anyways, I'm gonna have that lawnmower delivered probably tonight. So yeah, that's my quick rant. And as always, I love you, and I hope you have an amazing day. Bye.